And now we've got Dennis joining us here once his audio is connecting here. We'll just wait for Dennis. Can you hear us there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Dennis, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, man. Yeah, awesome. And
I'm well, Dennis.
Dennis, you're located in Toronto. What's the company name and everything about you
We're
there?
we're GTA Sunrise Property Services. We're located in Toronto. We service all Greater Toronto area, and we are relatively new in the business. Basically, we started at the when COVID started,
Yeah.
so it was pretty easy to start because probably everybody had a good workflow. And
Yes.
right now, we're at the point where we're having a harder time to get jobs, new customers, get more exposure, and somehow that's probably to the current situation in the economy. And at this point of time, I find this as our major issue.
Yeah. I can see that being increasingly difficult personally coming into next season, but I am interested in what that turnaround looks like. What's your question there, Dennis, for us? And we'll see what the other guys have to say here.
So my main question would be regarding the same. Uh, how do you guys get the workflow? How would be the best way to get the good leads, any leads actually, in this current situation? And what are your plans for the winter? What can be done during the winter month to get that exposure, to get those new clients, and to get some work planned for the next season?
Mike?
Me.
You? Yeah.
In terms of winter, I don't really have much to say about that. For in terms of getting leads, I think that it, during the times when it was like really good would be the best time to kind of start to think about what the turnaround will look like. And that's why I kind of went the YouTube route because I knew that would take a couple of years and working on the website because I knew that would take like a couple of years. But like immediacy, I would email or reach out to every single client that you know loved you and would give you a 5-star rating, and I would start asking for those 5-star ratings on Google My Business. I would double check my website just to see if there's anything I can capitalize on in getting higher in search engine results. But the Google My Business ratings is going to be like the biggest needle mover, especially in like the immediate future for SEO. And if you're looking to start paying for leads, I would really look at Facebook ads, and just the basics will help you out huge in terms of targeting by postal code. What I do actually, and especially because I kind of recently just moved to Toronto, is anytime I'm actually driving around in the western part of GTA towards Kitchener, and I'm just like driving around, I'll take note of specific areas where I'm like, oh, this kind of looks like a nice area and looks like my typical client, and I'll make a pin on my Google map so that I know the postal code for that specific area, and then I can include that postal code into my Facebook ads. You can also do this with Google Ads too. Um, Another way to do that without driving around would be just Googling more affluent areas in a certain neighborhood or area and get those postal codes and just start to add all of these postal codes into your Google ad targeting and Facebook ad targeting. And then the creative on top of that, I could go down a rabbit hole with that as well. But I don't know what PK and Chad want to say on top of that as well.
I think you're crushing the answer
So
to this question.
I'll maybe you can coach me, Mike. I reached out to my website guy last week, asking him about pumping up some SEO for NDL, just because I feel like we maybe took our foot off the gas a little bit in the second half of the season. And I've got a pair of guys that I would love to send out to do smaller hardscape jobs. So basically, whenever I went to the website guy, I just said, I need to pump up our SEO. And that's about as much as I know about computers and how this is going to all work. He's like, okay, we'll get some web pages done up for, I know, like we went through our websites a couple of weeks ago there, and he's like, we'll do one for interlocking brick and one for trees, like whatever you're trying to pump, we'll try and push that as part of the website, obviously, but like also have its own secondary page or whatever. Is that a good route, or am I better off with Facebook? What's the master plan here for someone who's had, I know, because you've said having an old website is better than having a new website.
Yeah. For SEO, like, just to give you a very basic, the older domain, the better, as well as links going to your domain. So if you're looking, and you can use a website to check out what your domain authority number is, and that's based on age and links coming to your website that are good links. So not just any link that you can possibly get. That would definitely, anything that's easy will hurt you in the long term, and you don't want to be hurt by Google because you'll never get it back. So I think, like, what news outlets can I reach out to, especially coming into the spring, where I can say, hey, I'm a landscaper and I've got tips for residential people that are looking for a landscaper and what to look for in a landscaper. Pitch some like different stories, because those news outlet links are really, really good to get. And just start to build links that way. Going off of what Chad said there, services, have a page for every service and make sure that it's got good writing in it. Don't just go to ChatGPT, because that's going to, I think, personally hurt people in the long term, because ChatGPT is not, it's just pulling things from the internet, right? So it's already, you don't know where that's coming from. You don't know the copyright to go along with that. And Google knows when a page has been published. So if in 2018 a page was published and ChatGPT takes information from that page to give you your answer, and you just copy paste that, and now your page is published in 2023, you're going to get dinged. So basically, the harder it is, probably the better it is for your website. Service pages for every service that you do, as well as for every either region or city that you work in as well. You're just telling Google what services you offer, what regions or cities that you do business in, and then even more importantly than most of that, Google My Business ratings for sure.
So that's something I don't have, even though we've been in business a long time. And in order to get that ball rolling, what am I doing? Just setting that up and reaching out to old clients and getting them to review?
Yeah. It's very easy. It's free. They just send you a postcard to verify your address, so that you are actually giving a correct address, and that's it. The only thing is, if you work out of your home and you get it sent to your home address now becomes public information that's where you do business out of. But Chad, you've got a yard space, so you'd probably just set it to that. But just for anybody listening, or for that.
Cool.
So my plan for next year is to let Mike handle everything for me.
Good plan.
On top of that, like, when it comes to marketing, it's either time or money, or a mixture of both. I have, especially when I was just starting out, I reached out to every single complimentary service provider that I do business in that area. And Chad talked about this, I think, last episode even. Asphalt companies, concrete companies that do complimentary work, that don't do pavers. Also, like, look for asphalt companies that don't do pavers. So I actually made like a spreadsheet list of all of these companies, especially lawn care companies. but I made sure to go to their website and make sure that they don't offer paperwork because I don't want to reach out to them. And I sent them all emails and tried to create a relationship. But even better than that, just show your face and make sure that you're making a connection that way, because that's always better than an email.
Yeah, do that. Mike, you know so much more than everybody else on this topic.
No, I don't think so. But Dennis, does that kind of cover what you're kind of looking for with that?
Actually is in line with what my plan is.
Cool.
Actually, I'm right now on year 2021 of your podcast, so I'm grabbing all that information a little bit slower. But the plan is to get those postcards sent to the clients with the QR code for getting the Google review.
Beautiful.
So they open it, they can just scan it with their phone and it leads them right there. Yeah, that's the plan. And SEO, also working on that. I was just thinking maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there is another opportunity that we can use. And my next question was also, what software are you guys using? I know you're now launching the new software. Trying to work with it. I can't say that I am completely I can completely switch to that right now. I mean, because it's still some features are in the development mode. Yeah. But if there is anything else like that you use to organize your workflow, let's say like I'm using Trello to organize the projects right now, some apps that would help and make the life easier.
PK, you use a good scheduling app?
So I use the Connect Team app, which is a scheduling app, and it allows all of our staff have it on their phones. I have it on 2 laptops. One laptop is really old and contains everything and can never leave this room and not be plugged in. And then the other laptop I bought for $200 and I can take it anywhere. So it works. Doing the actual scheduling works great on the computer. You can do it on the phone, but it's a bit more challenging. I lay out as far ahead as I can for everybody every Sunday, and then it goes to all their phones. Each day you can add a description of what they're doing that day. So to break down how I lay it out for them every day is I lay out the time I want them at the yard. Because the app actually has maybe I can open it without totally, I don't know. I'm not good at computer stuff. And of course, it's also not loaded up for some reason. So the first thing it asks you is team member or date. Then it asks you team member. And then because they're all on the app, I can add as many of them as I want. So we have a crew that generally works together of 5 guys. So I add them together. Then I can type the address they're working in on. Then I get to the bigger bubble and I tell them what time I would like them to arrive at the yard. I tell them what trucks they're taking and I mean, we don't have a lot of trucks, so it will say black truck, small dump trailer, brown truck, big float trailer. And then it'll say who's going in each truck. And then there's a description of their day and what I want them to do. And then I can add tasks in the app. So say there's today there was an irrigation sleeve that they absolutely had to get in today. It had to happen. There was no debate on it. So in their tasks for the day, I have add irrigation sleeve, and then they can click a button and say when they've accomplished that task. So if I have a list of things that absolutely have to happen or a priority list, I put tasks in. I don't put tasks in every day. Today they were also splitting a load of plants and figuring out which ones we can do this year and which ones we need to heal in at the yard. So that was a task for them. But then I have their week laid out. I have 5 triaxles in there, and the 2 bin. I only have 2 bin truck drivers, me and Cody, so there's only 2. But then I plan them as much as I can. And then the drivers have access to their calendars as well. so that if one of our clients calls them, they can update it. Since we had this app, Team Connect or Connect Team, I feel like it's made a vast difference in how well our company is organized. It also allows for me to do I am very poor at communication. So I don't do well with it, and I don't prioritize things that I really want done to people. I just give them a long list of things, and then they do the things they think are important, which is always opposite of what I think is important. So by being able to put the tasks in, I think it's alleviated stress on their end as well, because they have a better idea of what I'm looking for and what I want. So that's how we started doing it in 1st of August. I think we got the app. It also has a thing that they check in at the yard and they check out at the yard, and it does their time for the office too. So that's because before we had like 9 people working here, all doing time cards a different way. They all had a different way of keeping their time and getting their time into the office. Now everyone does their time the same way on the app. And I think they like it too, because they can check their week and check where they're going and what time they have to be places. And it's been great for us. It's been a really good communication tool.
How much time do you spend on scheduling? Like, you do it on the weekend or whenever, but how much time does it take?
So on either Saturday or Sunday, we get I go through the tickets from all the trucks, and then because oftentimes I'll write something on them just so the office, or if I miss something on one or one of the drivers, I just use the double check system. And then, so that probably takes me about an hour to do that. And then right after that, it maybe takes a half an hour, 40. It depends how complicated the schedule is that week. Like right now, we have one big job going on and everyone's going there. So I fill it out. I click Monday. I put all their names in it. I fill out what they're doing. And then if like right now they're doing planting, so it's basically just everybody, the trucks are taking, we're doing planting, and then I can put it on repeat for 5 days, and then I click it once, and that's all 5 of those guys' weeks scheduled for the week. Because it'll populate into all their weeks because I put it on repeat and I added all 5 of them to it. So, and then if I want to, I can go in on a certain day and add some tasks just to that day. Say on Tuesday, someone calls and says, we're getting a big delivery on Friday. I'll go in on the Tuesday and I'll add a bunch of tasks to that day. So it probably takes about half an hour. And generally for the rest of the week, people don't, especially the field staff, they don't call me or ask a lot of questions because they're getting them all right there. And I try to update and put in as much information as I can for them.
Wow. You sold me on this app. And I don't even know what the guys are doing at 7 o'clock when they show up some days.
I like putting for me, I'm extremely poor at communication and getting across what I want done and what's really a priority to me. So this is, I think, really increased my ability to just be able to lay out how I want it done, what I want done. It's all written down. It makes me feel better too when I see the week populated and I know where everyone's going. It relieves anxiety from me of like having to say every night, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. Or I used to do it in a previous lifetime. I did it. I had a texting chain, and then I would at 4:30. Yeah. So at 4:30 every day, I would take the 3 crews and I would write down who was going to be on those crews, where they were, what they were doing. And then I would we had A crew, B crew, C crew, and then I would send them out to everybody. I like the app better because it's populating for a week. And in general, I have a pretty good idea of where people are going to be for the week.
Sold. Sign me up.
So, well, you just have to go into the app store and then get it.
I can do that.
And if you need any help with how to use it, I'm well versed in it now. The app is called Connect Team.
Sign me up for that coaching call.
Sure. I'll charge you as much as I charge to do speaking engagements.
Nice.
Dennis, do you have another question before we close out here? There,
Like, what are you using?
for me personally,
Yeah.
so I used to use a spreadsheet before I started that software. Now I just completely use the software. Personally, that being said, very small business, so I don't require as much as what PK or Chad would need. So what we're going to be doing with the software is probably in end of Q1, we are going to really start to work on that scheduling feature in it, because it's definitely something that has probably been the most challenging with me and the development team. But uh, we've gotten a lot of great feedback from users, as well as users that want to join in, um, that have really given us a lot of great feedback on where would be the best way to create that schedule for not only just like a hardscape division, but also a design build division that has multiple different moving pieces. For example, they've got a carpenter, they've got a hardscaper, they've got all these different areas that need to work on a similar schedule. So look forward to that, as well as the app should be out about March. And along with our time tracking, this is me plugging away at this, but I just had a meeting with my development team, and it's awesome. We got chat groups coming. So every time you create a project, it's going to create a chat group specifically for that project. So you can keep all communication there, and it can stay in that project as a documentation. We've got a more streamlined SMS messaging between you, your employees being able to. I'm just going to go off and on a tangent here, so I will keep it at that there.
Yeah, I know about that software. I'm waiting until everything gets launched and
Yes.
completely switched it. Now, what do you think is the biggest company size that can use that software right now? Like,
right now, it's I would say if you would be best if you were a 1 or 2 crew business. Anything beyond that, it's a little bit. You might want more flexibility in terms of how you price your projects, especially if you have different divisions. For example, if you have a lawn care division, it's really not set up for recurring work. It's really project based. So 1 to 2 crews, project based. But by, I would say, June next year, with where we're headed, it's going to be great for any project based size business, and especially with like the course content resources that are going to be coming out, which I'm really excited about there.
because we had 4 crews this season, and I'm not sure if that was a good solution for 4 crews company. And even if like the plan is to get bigger and let's say 10 crews, 50 people, uh, how do you think it's going to work out in the future? Are you planning to do something like different budgets for different sale sectors, like let's say like up to 10 million a year, one kind of budgeting, up 10 plus another?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to budgeting, like the software is set up where you can do budgeting however you really wish to do it. The way I personally suggest would be just by division, but you could do it by crew if you really wanted to, and just create a budget for a specific crew. But some people, as they get larger, they want to transition to more of a different way of budgeting, whether it's like multiple overhead recovery. I personally think that just gets too complicated, and then you get into like, if you're not an expert in it, then you need to get a consultant, and then you're paying consultant fees going forward with that to be able to figure out a percentage markup on each of your materials, on labor and all that. I think it's just, as the software is set up for labor rate recovery, where you set your time and you need to recover your overhead within that time, I think that works for any size businesses as you continue to scale up. Like I said, if your crews are consistent, for example, you have design build crews and you have lawn care crews, it's going to be set up for that. What it's going to be more difficult is if you have a carpenter, if you have a hardscaper, if you have a gardener or like a softscaper, and they all converge on that one project, that's where it's really not set up for. It's really set up for those crews that are on that project throughout the entirety of that project or the majority of that project. So in 2024, like I said, probably like Q3 is where we're going to really dive into how we can set it up to be more customized for multiple crews working on one project, which is a big thing that people have kind of asked when they've looked at it.
Okay. Waiting for all those updates.
Yes, absolutely. And just going back to marketing one more time there, Dennis, I would listen to today's episode for Instagram. Dylan, Landscaping with Dylan, had a lot of great advice there with trying to grow your Instagram, but also locally growing your Instagram.
Well,
yeah,
I'm getting to it. Every episode, sorry, but I might jump somewhere there just to through the details. Sure.
Yeah. Any other questions to end off here, Dennis?
No, thanks for your time, guys. Thanks for your advice, and have a good evening.
Awesome. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah,
we're in Instagram at GTA_sunrise. That's probably would be the best way to find us, find our portfolio, because again, we're working on the website. We do have a website, gtasunrise.com. It's not updated though, but Instagram would be the best kind of business card for us.
Awesome. Dennis, thanks so much for your time, man. Great questions.
Have a good day.
Yeah,
Bye.
You too.
Thank you. Have a good day, brother.
And we're bringing in our final call here. This is Trey. Let me let him in. This is Trey from the ground up. Trey, as he's connecting to audio here, let me rename him. Trey, can you hear us there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you as well. How you doing, man?
I can hear you, Trey.
You?
I renamed you so you don't have your wife's name in there.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet.
How you doing?
So did you name me Mike then?
I didn't name you Mike. You named you Mike.
Well, how do you change it so it doesn't say Mike?
I can rename you to whatever I want here. I just click the 3 dots and what do you want to be?
I want to be PK.
It took all year.
I didn't know you could change that. I didn't even know how it got to be Mike. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea.
I don't have to change mine. So
I would like to be iPhone 412.
I would like to be iPhone 412.
I kind of like iPhone 412. It's here we go. Chad,
I don't know where that came from.
Are you able to turn on your camera for this last call here? Is this going to work or?
You probably have to unplug your phone to turn on your camera because the phone knows you're in the truck.
Phone knows. Okay, is that anything?
No, nothing.
We don't have anything.
Nothing.
Trey, we haven't seen Chad's face this whole
Trey,
episode,
Trey, this is counting against your time. That's 4 minutes of your time gone.
Oh,
you'll never get it back. We're just desperately trying to get Chad on.
I'll work on this, but let's roll.
Let's roll. Trey, what brings you to our show? Do you have questions? Do you have comments? Do you have complaints?
Oh, I don't have any complaints. I mean, I got some questions or something we can come up with, but I enjoy the commentary every week. That's for sure. It's a breath of fresh air to hear you guys talk back and forth.
I
really? Wow.
That. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's not everywhere where you could get the actual truth and not just a bunch of BS that people are spewing about doing this or doing that really they don't even do themselves. So,
well, sometimes I might spew stuff I don't do myself, but I try to keep it under wraps. Thanks, brother. We appreciate you listening every week.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
That's awesome.
I'm glad people listen because we're certainly not doing this for the money.
It'll come. It'll come.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I feel like this is good. You know how some people have like retail therapy?
Mm-hmm.
I have like podcast therapy.
So you're not out just buying stuff like Chad is?
Oh no. No, we met our accountant. We're not buying anything. We did our year end, so it was
What are you saying? I'm a frivolous buyer?
No, you're just smart with what goes to the government. That's for sure.
mhm.
Well,
That's true.
Where are you
I try and keep
located,
my
Trey?
share.
I am in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Uh,
Pennsylvania.
sometimes.
And
Just
actually,
like-
Trey and I got to meet face to face very briefly there at H&A.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know you could drive there, so I didn't go.
There's always next year.
There's always next year. Can you drive to it next year? Does it go from place to place? Or is it always in the same place?
I don't know. That was my first time ever being there. I think it's always in the same spot, but I'm not 100% sure.
Ah, this is my first time too. Nice.
Yeah. It was a decent little trip. I think our drive was about as far as yours was, Mike. So it wasn't too
9 hours or so.
Yeah.
Your drive was 9 hours too, Trey?
It
I
got
wouldn't think that.
elongated a little bit because we took our motorhome out. So you can't drive very fast in those things.
No, not recommended.
No, not at all.
So how can we help you today?
I mean, what do you guys thinking the next year's bringing? You guys have any ideas, any plans? Are you guys looking to grow, stay the same? What are you guys thinking?
I'm really, really looking to not lose $150,000 next year like I did this year. That's what I'm really looking for. I'm hoping
Is that
to.
before depreciation or after?
I don't. So I'm not good at understanding things.
Okay.
All I know is that when we met the accountant, she said, and she's a CA or whatever, she said, you guys lost $149,000 last year. And that in itself, see, like most people would be pissed off and say, I lost $149,000 and they're really pissed off. But how my brain worked was, could we have not just lost $150,000? Because now if I tell people we lost $150,000, that's lying. We really lost 149. And losing 149 is a bigger bitch to me than the actual gone money.
Yeah.
Like the actual money being gone, I get what happened. We had a bad year. Our biggest client went bankrupt. We didn't get paid fuck tons of money. We probably should have lost more money than we did. But our team really pulled together and we did a great job to only lose 150,000, well, 149. But see, that is in essence the most annoying part of the whole thing is that we couldn't, like, fuck lady, could you not have found some way for us to lose another 1,000?
Nice round.
Like how fucking hard was that to lose another $1,000? Like, it's a real piss off.
Well, you still got a couple weeks.
TK, did the CPA advise you to take the $30,000 settlement?
No, I didn't even ask.
Oh.
I'm not taking the $30,000 settlement. I don't know if we ever talked about that on here before.
Yeah, you did a couple weeks ago.
Oh, did we? Okay, yeah. I would rather live in a box in the forest than accept the $30,000 from those motherfuckers. I hope they listen.
What if
Just like my insurance
What
company.
if it was a $29,000 settlement that brought you down to an even number of money owed to you?
Even well, maybe then I might think about it. I guess it wrecks when you're talking. Not that I guess now I'll probably be talking about it a lot because I've talked about it on here and someone will ask me. But it just you want to say 150, but it's not the truth. 149 is the truth, and you don't want to be a liar. But 149 is long and awkward. You guys don't think so?
I agree, but you got a couple weeks yet. I mean, the year's not over.
Oh no, our year end is September 30th. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is from.
So that's set in stone.
October 1st to September 30th. Yeah, that's our year. So
Gotcha.
it's which is kind of weird, I guess, that I don't know how that happened. I think that's something to do with incorporate. Again, I am a big picture guy.
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the small details of anything in my life, I know jack about it.
Well, I guess in the big picture, you're still afloat, so that's a good thing. You can.
I'm not that devastated by it. Every company has to have ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay. It sucks. I would have rather that not happen,
Yeah.
but I think that given the current economic climate and the fact that we lost our biggest client that we did 50% of our work for,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a tough go for us, and we also didn't get paid boatloads of money, which also for our business is only 5 years old, so we don't owe. Our bills are paid. The government's paid. We don't owe any fucking taxes. I guess there's that. Um, uh, and the company, payroll gets made, and the company's afloat, and we still have the heat on in our house. So I think that all in all, I like to take it as a victory. I guess we had a lot of we just had it. Just a lot of the stuff that we count on for income didn't happen this year, and that's okay. It'll happen next year.
Yeah, you have those years, and I mean, you just take it and roll with the punches, I guess. There's no better way to do it.
Well, what I always say to clients is, I've been landscaping. I landscape this year. I'll landscape next year, and I'll landscape the year after because I don't know how to fucking do anything else. So
Somebody
just
needs to
gotta
make a
get
quote
up.
or a shirt with all your quotes on it.
I don't think maybe. Yeah, we should bring up.
There's at least like 10 that you could steal from this podcast in 1 year that are gold.
We could do like that concert shirt on the back, just PK quotes.
Yeah,
PK
absolutely.
quotes. Yeah. So all in all, I'm hoping that I think next year will be better. I think I think that one of the things that happened to us this year was I think you're always a reflection of your biggest client.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty hard for if someone is your biggest client to not have a reflection of them on, like, you don't become a reflection of them. And obviously with them going out of business, they were struggling. And whenever someone's struggling, things are, a fuck show. So that just reflected. And I think our business was, a fuck show for a while there. And, but I think that now, we're getting things settled down and we have great people. So I think for us next year is going to be a big year. I'm gonna push hard to find some new bin clients because now we have 3 bin trucks. So we had 2 bin trucks, but one of them is a 2006, and I didn't push hard for new bin clients or really chase down new fill bin business because I felt comfortable with the clients we had and being able to service them with the trucks we had. But we added a much newer truck this year, and it's been on the road for 3 months, and knock on wood, it's been doing a great job. So I think the next year I might pursue some new bin clients that maybe I would have been hesitant because I wanted to make sure we could continue to service the ones we had.
Gotcha. So
And we
explain
have
that part a little bit.
Yeah, we have 3 really reliable, great brokers next year, and we have 2 of our own triaxles. So I'll probably pursue some more triaxle business. And we're going to take a real deep, hard dive into trying to expand our commercial business of our own. Normally, we subcontract a lot of commercial business,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going to try to take a deep dive into doing some of that on our own. Or maybe Chad's going to start a NDL West, and we're going to help. We're going to work with Chad on that.
NDL West.
NDL West, NDL West Favor King partnership, I think, is for everything west at Kingston, Kingston and West. I feel like we're going to take that over for Chad next year, so that's going to be great too. I haven't really talked about it with him until now.
Awesome.
Yeah, we haven't really discussed any plans, but it's good to announce something like that right here on the podcast. Fresh news, NDL West, right, Chad?
We'll make a meeting in your scheduling app and sit down and talk about it.
Perfect.
I'm not opposed to any collaborative work, any way to make money.
Yeah, that commercial work
Um,
scares me a little bit. I don't know. We don't dabble too much in commercial hardscape or landscape.
What scares you
So,
about it?
no work like
Getting paid.
Ah,
Yeah. I mean it
well, I mean,
we I
if you're
we
working for big GCs,
yeah. And I think, yeah, there's some comfort in that. Like we have some big general contractors around us. And before I started this business, I was in the general contracting construction field. And you definitely figure out who are the good ones and who are the ones you don't want to work for if you're in business for yourself. But we had like a custom home builder we were working for the first year and a half of our business. So like 2021. And I mean, he still owes us money to this day. So it's frustrating to say the least, but
uh,
especially they've been in business for 20 years and we were in business for a year and a half. And I guess he figured we'd kind of just disappear. But no, you just keep bugging them and bugging them and bugging them. And I just hate doing that.
custom home builders are
you
like,
gotta have a bulldog on staff.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest at that. Sometimes I just am like, this is a waste of my time. He's not going to pay. Let's move on to the next person because you're just burning up daylight. So, but that's probably not the best way to look at it.
I have things that I look at like that.
Yeah,
Custom home builders are like real estate agents.
I feel the same way. Yep.
Everyone's tempted to work for them, and sometimes you get sucked in, and then you remember why you don't work for real estate agents or custom home builders.
Yeah, yeah. And the whole thing about like, you don't know how far they over excavated this brand new house that you're now working at. Like,
Also true.
somebody better be pouring a slab and pinning it into the foundation or something. Because that's just, you're asking for issues. It's backfilled with whatever's around you. Trash, hard hats, anything.
I would agree. I would agree with you that they put anything to backfill houses nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
We haul a lot of landscaper fill, so you see people digging up crazy shit, like pylons and whatever was there. It gets put stuffed in the hole. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I think we're thinking about adding a second hardscape crew. So right now we run one hardscape crew, one construction crew, which is like our covered patios. We build some decks, stuff like that. Uh,
Decks.
yeah, I know you love them. Um, and it's a love-hate relationship with me, but it is what it is. And I think we're going to add a second hardscape crew because that seems to be our more profitable part of the business.
Obviously, you build decks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm sure the deck business is great.
It is for some people. For us, it struggles a little bit. We can't seem to hit hours, is what it comes to. I mean, decks can be a real time sucker. I mean, and
Yes.
one wrong cut on a deck board is $150 for a 20-foot board. So, and then you're not getting it in a couple days. It's going to take 3 weeks to get a replacement board. So
Jesus.
you,
It sounds less appealing than it did before.
yeah, yeah. So, but there's some people that are great at it. We're still trying to figure it out. But so yeah, I'm thinking about adding that second hardscape crew, but everybody says the world's coming to an end, so who knows what's going to happen. So
Where are you? Where are you? Oh, you're in Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Is the world ending in Pennsylvania?
Well, you hear all the time, especially a lot of the older contractors. They're like, "Oh, we saw this in 2006, 2007. You better start stashing
Those
away." So,
those old guys are always complaining that something's gonna go wrong. Like I had an old boss. Ever since the day I started my company, oh, you really shouldn't start your company. Things are gonna take a turn for the worse, and it's no one's gonna be able to eat and all this shit. Fuck, I've been hearing it for 20 years.
you think they're just saying that to hope that you sell your stuff out cheap and they can get it cheap?
No, I don't think they're being malicious about it. I think um, they're just trying to flex some wisdom sometimes, and maybe some wisdom that they don't have. But I've consistently heard every year that next year is not going to be like this. Next year is going to be worse. But I don't know. We're still here.
Yeah.
You have to do something.
It's also safer to say that too.
And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Last year we just kind of we ballooned up. Our third year we ballooned up to like 12 people, and I couldn't manage it. So we had with 12 people, we did just as much work then as we did this year with 4. So you can see how inefficient we were.
You must have bought a tilt rotator.
What'd you say?
You must have bought a tilt rotator.
Actually, we had one, sold
No,
one,
I'm just kidding.
and then we just got our new one in. We had a 304 with an Encon, and it was a little too small, so we had to get a bigger one. But yep,
always need a bigger shovel.
yeah, the toys don't stop. That's for sure.
So what did you buy?
A Cat 306 with it's actually a Caterpillar tilt rotator on it. So we're gonna give that one a shot.
Caterpillar makes it.
Rototilt.
I thought Caterpillar had owned Rototilt.
So it's a Rototilt rebranded pretty much with Cat logos.
Ah,
Yeah. So we're gonna give that one a shot and see what it's like. So
Nice.
I primarily try to stick to Caterpillar. We bought a T76 last year, and I put 100 hours on it 1 year because it was in the shop constantly getting new wiring harnesses. And they don't want to do jack for it. So it's about to get burned and pushed off a cliff and just take the insurance check and run.
that's the
Hope your
bigger.
insurance isn't listening to this.
My insurance does, so don't tell his insurance.
I think we got different brokers probably.
Potentially. Wow, it was. I don't even think that was a company that we were using. I think it was a company we were like got a quote from or something. I don't remember what on all of that. It was super stupid, but I don't think it was actually. I think it was our old insurance company, and then one that we were like I guess interviewing. They did some deep dive on my Instagram. We're concerned, deeply concerned.
I feel like they would have other
I still
companies
can't-
they could be a lot more concerned about.
Oh, probably. I can't imagine that. I don't know. They were worried about it, but
Like I
So-
feel like a roofing company would be a lot more I don't know. You should look into their background a little bit more. They can be a little crazy.
Those guys don't have insurance to begin with.
yeah,
That's probably true.
Oh,
that
man.
is true.
So what? Chad's out driving around?
Yeah, I'm on my way home. I've been out of town for a day or two. So
'Cause-
I can't fiddle with my phone and drive. It's well, so I can't get that.
Are you driving the Mercedes or the truck?
The truck.
Mm.
I
Chad bought a G-Wagon.
I'm in the Ram.
Did he?
Yeah. No way.
I bet you could pull that new
$250,000.
Is that
But
how
they
much
went-
they are?
Yeah, they're like 300 grand.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my! I thought they were
Like-
like 150.
No.
No. $250,000 vehicle.
No way.
Then they can go up from that too. If you get like the limited edition, the special edition, AMG edition, like they can go up. They can go up to like 350, 400 grand or something.
Wow.
That is so dumb.
Just look up a used one on Kijiji. It's like 125 grand.
Oh,
And it's like 10 years old.
That's
Like, it's bananas.
so my video about why you shouldn't buy a G-Wagon is making more sense now, Mike.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it made sense before, but yeah, it absolutely makes sense now.
They're heavy enough that you can do it.
Oh,
You're heavy
my
enough, Trey. You can
goodness.
use them as a write-off. That's
Yeah.
why you need to get a G-Wagon.
Yeah.
You probably heard that first time ever from me here.
It's been floating around actually the last couple years. I've heard that from people, but it's
Yeah. Get yourself a useless boxy German pile of junk. Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, we tend to have a lot of those influencers, I guess you could say, down here in the States. I haven't seen too many up your guys' way. They all seem to be concentrated down here. I don't know if it's the water or what, but
See,
PK's an influencer.
yeah, but he's influencing for the right reasons.
Oh, thanks.
That's good.
For free.
For free.
Yeah. When he comes out with
Canadians
an academy,
don't-
we might have to stop, but the Paver King Academy.
Canadians don't monetize their bright ideas. We give them away for free.
Well, I wish they had bright ideas. That's the problem.
So, did you get your new Caterpillar?
Yeah, it came last week.
How long did it take to get it?
We ordered it in July, and then it sat in we ordered from Cleveland Brothers, which is a pretty big dealer down here. They were having issues with the rotator and the CMP grapple, the flow. So it sat there for like 2 months getting that figured out. But I think once they saw the end of the year coming, they were rushing that project along. So
the grapple's not a cat attachment?
no. And actually I bought like the buckets that they had with it, and they didn't have a lot of good options. So the tilt rotator is an actual Rototilt Cat I think it's a TRS6 is what they call it. But then I bought all NCon buckets. So we have a skeleton bucket, grading bucket, tooth bucket, forks, and then we bought the CMP grapple. So it's kind of a mix match of different things, but it's all the stuff I wanted, and then we kind of made it work.
With the NCon, sorry, now we're having a deep dive in rototillers. I'm actually really interested in this. So,
yeah,
are the NCon attachments better?
Yeah, they're better, and they're actually a little bit cheaper. But then the NCon tilt rotator itself was like 17 grand more. So that financially didn't make sense to me if it's kind of the same thing. So we're gonna give it a shot.
They all essentially do the same thing, right? Like spin around in circles.
Yeah. I mean, it feels exactly the same as our NCon did. It just doesn't say NCon on the side of it.
What are yours, Chad?
I got a steel wrist and a grib.
Have you ever heard of a grib?
I haven't, no. Steel wrist.
They're just as good as any others. Like, if I had my choice between steel wrist and grip, I think I'd choose grip. But I can't compare them apples to apples because one's on a 4-ton and one's on an 8-ton. So,
how much was the steel wrist for the 8-ton?
The grip for the 8-ton was $55K, taxes in, I think, with buckets.
Well, no, did you price a steel wrist for the 8-ton, or you just went straight grip?
I went straight grip because I heard there was a cost savings there. And
do you think if they had a better name, they'd be able to charge more?
You don't like grip?
Well, it's just there's steel wrist, NCon, Rototilt, and grip. I feel like there could be more. You don't think there could be more?
I don't dwell on it too much.
I dwell on these kind of things. Probably why you make money and I don't.
Interestingly enough, the grip tilt rotator for the 21-ton is $75K.
That seems like a bargain.
Thinking about that. Yeah. Except I have to buy a screening bucket for that shovel, and that's $40,000.
Yeah.
For one bucket. Yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah. How far we've come. $40,000 lane buckets.
I don't know if I would get a tilt rotator for a 20-ton excavator.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
I feel like if you're, well, I guess they quick attach, but I feel like a 20, I don't know. I don't know enough about them, but I feel like a 20-ton. I had a buddy with a tilt rotator and a 20-ton, 25-ton shovel, and it just was like broken all the fucking time. Because I guess it was, I don't know. What?
That might be due to the operator, but
Could be.
like,
Or it could be that you're
we
just,
haven't had.
the pulling strength on it is, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like with something that
Well, I
big,
mean,
you're not going to try to be very nimble. You're just going to get in there and dig it out and move on.
the durability is scaled on them, right? Like a 20-ton tilt rotator is meant to handle 20 tons, not 4 tons, like a 4-ton tilt rotator, you know? So, I mean, I could see the use of it. I said, like, I'll never own another shovel without a tilt rotator, but on a 20-ton, we don't really anticipate it leaving the yard much. So it's hard to recoup on a machine that doesn't leave the yard. So hold off on that.
That seems like a smart decision. Plus,
Yeah.
it's going to use up G-Wagon money.
G-Wagon. I'm still on the CRA's radar. There will be no G-Wagon.
What happened to this? This is getting off track of Trey's.
Oh, it's all entertaining to me. I don't care.
What happened with the CRA? Did they leave?
Nope. They're still around. They said they should be gone by end of January.
They told you in
But
advance we should be gone.
Like, they should be wrapped up by the end of January.
They like the Christmas season? That's nice.
Well, if you know anything about government workers, you know that all of December is a write-off between days off and Christmas parties. Nothing gets done in the government in December.
I went to the passport office last week and had a wonderful experience. I was in and out in 34 minutes or something. So, yeah. So those government workers were still kicking ass in December. For the record.
New passport in hand or what?
No, it takes 2 weeks.
You have to mail it away.
Yeah, it takes 2 weeks. So they mailed it away, and then in 2 weeks they said, make sure you go to the post office and get it. Like you have to go pick it up. And I was like, wow, this seems like the part of the equation that I'm going to fail at. That my passport's going to sit at the Shoppers Drug Mart post office forever until I need it. Then I'll go there and they'll be like, we don't have it. We had to send it back. You didn't claim it. I can already envision everything that's going to happen in my life right now with this fucking passport.
You should schedule that in your app.
Thanks. I'll schedule that in my app. I'll schedule it in my app. I like the scheduling app. I think
it's great.
I don't know. You're kind of making fun of me.
No, I'm trying to burn it into my brain that's something that we need.
You need a scheduling app?
Well,
sure.
Yeah.
What are you doing for next season? How are you growing your business next season, Chad? Other than the 2010 excavator?
How am I growing it? I don't think it's a growth year. I think it's a treading water year. We'll try and do more of the same and build some relationships and get to things on time. And I mean, I say it every year, but really now there's not a whole lot that we need to grow or to keep the business going. I think we own everything that we need, and we've got all the right pieces of the puzzle. So let's stay where we are for a minute. Stop and smell the roses.
Except for NDL West.
Except for NDL West.
Yeah.
That's where we can make some money. There will be no roses west of Kingston.
There will be no roses to smell west of Kingston.
Trey, do you have a question to close out the episode or a Caleb's Corner for us to end things off here?
Ooh, I don't know if I was prepared for a Caleb's Corner.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but anything to close out our episode?
No, I don't really have anything special to ask you guys. I just appreciate the time and having me on. And thanks for all the entertainment and wisdom over however
you
many
part-
episodes it's been.
Are you part of the Christmas light business?
No, I hate Christmas lights.
All right.
No, I hate them.
We had a deep dive on Christmas lights last week, so I was just looking for another opinion.
I must not have got to that part of the episode yet. I listened to the first half. Is it in the second?
The second half might be the more interesting half.
Okay.
We spend a lot of time trying to figure out who the best landscaper in Ohio is. So
Oh, yeah. Isn't that guy's tag on Instagram? Isn't that
it is, yeah. He's up, he's on. He enjoys the show.
Who's
Don't
the
think he-
best landscaper in Pennsylvania?
Who's the best landscaper in Pennsylvania? CMG Academy.
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Do you live close?
About 2 hours. Too close.
Are you intimidated that it's going to be expanding out into your area?
No.
Just dropped a YouTube video
2
on
hours.
how to make it.
2 hours is a short jet ride.
How to build a patio. 2 hours.
He'll get in his helicopter and land out back here on my racetrack, so it'll be all right.
Really short jet ride. Like
Yeah.
you just. Are you more of a jet guy?
Me? Yeah, I'd probably rather be on a jet than a helicopter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of a jet guy.
What
So
about you?
maybe me? I don't really like flying that much. I'm more of like a high speed train guy. Can you be a high speed train guy? Has anyone ever been a high speed? I mean, I know there's jet guys and car guys, and
Do they still have them?
I think they're building one like to go from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. They're going to build a really high speed train to get everyone to the bachelorette parties on time.
Let me guess, it's going to be all electric too.
I would think so. Absolutely. There's no other way.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess I mean I've never flown on a private jet. My parents weren't rich enough so that I could be on a private jet at 22, but I'm just gonna wreck. So if you maybe I could be a jet guy. I just never really thought about it. Maybe I am a jet guy.
You just need to 10x everything and then
Yes,
put everything into the jet and have no cash.
always. Well, that's what
Shouldn't
you
keep
do.
cash.
Never keep cash.
No.
Never have any savings.
Never keep cash.
It's bad.
Never ever keep cash. Always have. So I feel like we're really on the downward slide here, Mike.
On that note,
Are we good? Do we have
I think we hit our worst hour there. Well
we hit
done.
our worst hour? All right. Thank you for being on, Trey.
No problem. Thanks.
Trey,
for
thanks so
having me.
much, man.
Yep.
Have a good one, brother.
Thanks, Trey.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good one.
And that's the end of the episode.